Hello, hello, hello. So we'll start this conversation over again. Hopefully all is well this time on this. So I downloaded the app on my iPad. See if I re-upload it, it'll get better. But we were having technical difficulties, but we're back. And so the discussion for today is I like the scripture, beloved. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Even as your soul prospers. You're here to prosper. You are here to live life abundantly. Did we come here to experience contrast? Yes. Contrast is what we like to deem as evil. But it's only evil because you say it is. Did you come into a world of duality, a world of opposites? Yes, but the world of duality, the world of opposites only exists in the mind of man. It only exists in your lower consciousness. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. So is this better, St. Monaco? Hopefully I'm not lagging now. Can you hear me clearly now? Okay, cool. Yeah. Just remember the promises. And that's the only reason why I like the Bible, because it reminds you of the promises that you were given to yourself. You know. And I know people say, "Oh, you want to pick and choose, you damn Skippy." Because that's exactly what the Bible tells you to do. To be picky. It tells you, I set before you good and evil, life and death. Choose life. It damn well tells you to be picky. And then people get mad when you just have to pick. Because you choose to pick the good. They get mad that you choose to. Well, yes, you're choosing to only focus on the contrast, the evil, the negativity. And I'm choosing to focus on the positivity, the good, the prosperity, the abundantness, the joy, the love, the peace. Like, when the Bible tells you to be picky, you're going to get mad because I'm picky? Like, what? Like, what? Christ only means anointed, someone who hasn't been enlightened, that the power of the I am has arisen within you, and now you realize that you are the creator of your experience. That's the Christ. That's the Buddha mind. And see, I like Psalm 1. Those of you who may be having difficulties in life, go to Psalm 1. It says, "Blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners." And sinners are those who operate in ignorance, those who don't know the truth of their being, those who miss their aim and lot in life, their goals in life. Nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. And the law of the Lord is the law of mind, the law of being, and in law of being. And in his law does he meditate day and night. And see, the religious community will try to tell you meditation is wrong, but Psalm 1 mentions meditate. And meditate just means whatever it is, whatever that passion, that yearning has dropped in your spirit, that you have received a download, an upload, whatever you want to call it. You're supposed to meditate, which means become one with it. That is the atonement. At one mind, right? At one mind, atonement. Be at one mind, one purpose. If the eye be single, if the mind be single, then the whole body shall be filled with light, with understanding, with purpose. Exactly. So we get to 10K the easy way. You get to come up and have your say. And I do want you all to know that these lives are uploaded to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Prosperous Living with Toyia. You can go to the link in my bio and you can find all of my videos there. And I have mostly all of my TikTok lives uploaded. The only time I didn't upload a TikTok is if we were having a discussion that those that were being a little bit more vulnerable didn't want me to share it on YouTube. And so I honored that request. So that was the only, and that only happened like 2 or 3 times where we were having a discussion and we wanted it to just stay on the TikTok. And so I did not share those videos. But I've been going live since last August. Well, actually, it's almost been a year. I started going live on TikTok last year, and just about every video that I've streamed on TikTok is now on YouTube. And so what is the promise of Psalms 1? When you delight yourself in the Lord and in his law, and in this law you meditate day and night. This is the promise. And she will be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that brings forth her fruit in her season. Her leaf shall not wither, and whatever she does shall prosper. That is the promise, that when you delight yourself in the law of the I am, the law of your being, which is whatever you assume to be, it will be. Whatever you decide that you are, that's what you shall be. Whatever you declare I am, that is what you shall express. And you shall prosper in everything, because you should be firmly rooted and grounded in knowing of the law of mind. It goes along with Mark 11:24. Therefore I say to you, whatever you desire when you pray, believe you receive it and you shall have it. This life is all about promises, promises, promises. And all the promises are yes and amen. All the promises are yes and amen, because you can have whatever you desire. But what does it say? The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord, the I am, knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. And so here it is, it's talking about 2 minds. It's not talking about 2 types of, it's talking about 2 minds in each individual, in each unique expression of the divine. You have 2 minds, the lower consciousness and the higher consciousness. The lower conscious is the ungodly, those who operate in fear, doubt, unbelief, disbelief, limitation. You don't believe that it's possible. You don't believe that it's possible. Yeah, I don't understand what's that about. Oh. They've been gone. They are the weakest link. I did report them, and I did block and mute. So because really, what is wow. But as I say, when you don't like the channel, you have to fine tune, right? When you don't like the station, you have to change the channel. And we understand that is just that lower mindset that doesn't realize who they are and just, think they're mad at me, but really mad at the world, right? Because they don't know me from a can of paint. So, they really weren't threatening me. They were threatening themselves. Remember, the thing you wish for another is the thing that you are speaking upon yourself, right? Because you're the only thinker in your reality. Thus, you're the only creator. No one else can create in your reality, right? But everyone is a mirror showing you that lower perspective of yourself, right? And so that's where you have to clean up the image, and just fine tune and change the channel. Because all thoughts exist, right? All thoughts exist. But you don't have to give in to those thoughts. Yep, Master Yi, that's it. Welcome. Thank you, Beck. Delissa said, oh my goodness, what happened? I know, it was a glitch as they say, it was a glitch in the matrix. But it's an easy fix. If somebody don't, I don't know why people think that they have to come on a live. If you don't like something, I could be blocked, right? If you don't like my content, all you have to do is block me and you'll never have to see me ever again. Right? You could just block me. Like, I don't like this. I want to make sure they never appear on my feed again. I want to make sure I never hear anything they have to say. And it's an easy fix. All you got to do is block. That's all that's required. But I guess that's too easy for people. They're like, oh no, I gotta say what I gotta say. I gotta, but it's cool. I don't take the stuff personally. Like I said, I don't know people from a can of paint. What does salvation mean, though? What does salvation mean? What is salvation? Salvation is salvage, to salvage something, to give a solution to a certain circumstance. That's all it means. Your solution will never be found in another person. It's always found within. But that's the deception of our religious organizations, is to make you think that your solution is in something outside of you. That something outside of you can save you from your circumstances. No, you are the creator of your circumstances, thus the savior of it. You created it, and all you have to do is recreate it. And how do you recreate it? With your mind. It was caused by your mind, and it will be salvaged or saved with your mind. Yes. 10K the easy way. You get to come up and have your say. And I know saying that you're a powerful being in this world of life, for some people that can be quite scary. To take full accountability for your life, that can be quite scary for a lot of people. Because they're like, wait a minute, hold up. But actually, you should see it as freeing, and that you no longer have to live your life according to someone else's standard. And true freedom is love. Truly being free to love, to accept others as they are without needing them to be different, so you can feel happy, so you can be at peace, so that you can be accepting other people's uniqueness. And for some people, that's kind of hard. People think we're supposed to make clones of ourselves. People think that, oh, they don't think like me. They don't act like me. How can I receive them? How can I accept them? That's because you don't receive and truly accept yourself, because you don't want someone to come change you and make you over. So why do you feel like it's necessary for you to go make someone else over? Don't make me over now that I do anything for you. Stop trying to make people over and learn to accept people as they are. That's true love. Yes, hold every thought captive to Christ. Yes, hold every thought captive to Christ, to the power and wisdom of God, the love that is within you. That's who Christ represents, the God state, which is love. Transform your reality into that which you would like to experience. And it first starts with acceptance of self. Stop seeing yourself as a lowly, God-forsaken sinner, unworthy and undeserving of the fullness and joys of life. You're here to live life abundantly. You're here to have your joy be full. You're here to abundantly. You're here to have your joy be full. You're here to have the peace that surpasses all understanding. And that this peace that comes from within, because the world didn't give it to you, the world can't take it away. That it doesn't matter what the world is doing. You can be at peace. You can have serenity in your heart, in your mind, a tranquil spirit, right? Yes, Beck. That's a good thing. Tap, tap, tap the screen. 10K the easy way. You get to come up and have your say. We are here to command our reality. You are the commander in chief of your life. You are the president. You are the CFO, the COO. You are the captain. You are the ruler. You are the king. You are the gardener. Absolutely. I can most certainly help. Interesting. How can you comfort that which you already are? You are God. Believing in yourself and believing in God are the exact same thing. Yep. That's the only thing. That's all you'll ever be in control of is your own self. You didn't come here to be a dictator or authoritarian over another person's experience. However, that is what religion will have you convinced of. Religion has you looking outward and looking for you to see the wrongness in others, to judge unrighteously. And scripture tells you to judge righteously, which is right thinking. What is seen, people is already whole and complete and lacking no good thing. That is righteous judgment, to see the life from a pure perspective. But I know everyone has to go through their own journey, their own experience of contrast, what we call the duality, what we call eating the fruit of the tree from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We all consume that fruit of duality, that fruit of contrast, that belief in two powers, the world of opposites. But when you awaken to the Christ mind, you recognize that there's only unity of spirit, there's only oneness, that God is the creator of all things, and the God that the scripture is talking about is your own consciousness, your own awareness of being, your imagination. Yes. Yep. Religion has inverted truth. And no, its religion is here to control us, not the Bible. The Bible is a tool, and it is being used. It's just like electricity. You can use the Bible to help or to harm, just like electricity. You can use it to light up the world, or you can be electrocuted by it, right? So that's where it comes to. The Bible showing you about the law of mind. It's how you use your mind destructively or constructively. That's all. It's showing you two natures within you, the lower nature and the higher nature. The lower nature is the nature of sense. You only believe what you or accept what you can detect or observe through the five senses. The higher consciousness sees beyond the physical. It can see beyond even the present moment. To consciousness, the past, the present, and the future are all the same. It's all happening at the same time. But because we're having a finite experience, we have a limited purview with our brain. Our brain only sees things from a linear perspective, but the higher consciousness can see things from a 360, from a full circle. Yes, religion hijacks our sacred texts, not just the Bible, but all sacred texts, and make them literal, right? But those are just constructs built up in mind because we had the belief in separation. But there is no separation. There is no separation. There's only oneness. There's only oneness. Everything you are perceiving in this reality is because of your beliefs. That's it. It's like, what do you believe? What do you accept? What do you want to see in your reality? Choose it, own it, and remain faithful to it. And the choice, and the thing is that once you make the choice, then get out of your own way. Now let it go. Let the seed drop in your spirit and let it take root, and it will grow all on its own. It will outpicture itself on your screen of space. It will become a part of your reality. You just have to say it and then let it go. All right? Say it and let it go. Say, this is what I want, and then let it go. I choose this, and then let it go. Let it, which means you have to open up your hand and drop the seed. Open up your hand, right? Stop grasping and trying to get and to make and to push and to pull. Learn how to release. Because it's not your job to make a thing so. It's already so. That's the reason why you're desiring it, because it already exists. But you trick yourself out of the manifestation by telling yourself it's not already there. And so how do you tell yourself it's not already there? You convince yourself it's something you have to do to make it come. And so you stress over it, you get anxiety about it, you get fearful of it not happening, you operate in doubt and unbelief. When all it was necessary for you to do was just to choose it. That was it. You just to choose this day. That's your only job. Your only job is to decide what it is you want, and then let it be so. That's being an imitator of the Creator. That's operating in the God state. Speak it, and then it is, right? The Creator says, let there be. That's what you say. You're saying, you're the Creator. You're saying, let there be. What are you saying? Let there be. Let there be abundance of finances. Let there be beautiful, amazing relationships. Let there be stillness. Let there be peace. Let there be joy. Let there be love. Let there be success. Let wisdom reign. Let there be guidance. Let there be knowing. Let there be. Grand Rising. Hey, Lily. How are you? Yes, pretty girl. I am that. And so that's all you're supposed to be. You're just supposed to be commanding reality. Not trying to make it so because it's already so. The works are finished. You're just supposed to be going through life in a chill way and just stating that that's what I want, and then let it be. Oh, I desire this, and then let it be. Let it be. Not try to figure out how to make it so. Because whatever you want to do, you're going to automatically do it because that's who you are, right? So whatever it is, whether you want a business, you want to be married, you want to further your education, you want to get degrees, whatever you want to do, you say, I am that, and then whatever's necessary, everything that needs to happen will happen, and it shall come with ease and flow. If you're finding that it's difficult to get the finances, to get, to finance your career or finance your degrees or whatever it is that you're desiring, then that means that you're trying to force a thing. And you don't really believe that it can happen because you're trying to make it happen. And that's where we get the struggle. That's where we get the stresses of life. That's when you get all up in your, you start finding difficulties show themselves to you because deep down you think that you have to prove worthiness. You think you have to prove that you deserve to have this thing. I worked for this. I didn't get this free. Nobody gave this to me. You see that mentality? That mentality is based on I have to do something to make it so, as opposed to be it and it will be so. Right. And all you have to do is confront the fear. How do you confront the fear? You talk to yourself. That's how you confront the fear. You do it anyway. Whatever fear is saying is impossible. Because what are you fearful of? What is the fear of being seen? Of thinking that it can happen? Okay, say if it does, say the thing that you desire never happens, then what does that mean? What does that mean for you? Say that it never happens. Say that the thing you're asking for, which is impossible though, it's impossible for it not to happen because it's already done. But let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, the thing that you're fearful of not happening, say it doesn't happen, then what does that mean? Ask yourself that. What would that mean to me if the thing I wanted just never took place? Hey, Sheila. Right. See, some of us think that being honest with ourselves is like this thing that you shouldn't do. Yes, you should be honest with yourself. I'm scared it won't happen because whatever the reason is. And then you have to ask yourself, is that even true though? Is that true? The reason I'm giving for this thing not taking place, is that even true? Like, does that make me less of a being? Does that make me powerless? Does that make me unworthy or undeserving if this thing didn't take place? Do I need this thing to take place for me to feel good about myself? Do I need this thing to be in my experience for me to feel love and at peace? Because that's the question. Because if you're needing this thing to bring happiness and joy, then you are never going to be happy because you need something outside of you to make you happy. When you should be happy regardless of what happens. You should be filled of joy regardless of what happens. You should love yourself regardless of what happens. Right? And that's the place you want to get to. Because you are meant to have whatever comes to your mind. If it comes to your mind that you should have X amount of money, certain type of relationships, a specific type of business, a certain type of home, Whatever you feel your relationships should look like. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely yes. Do you know consciousness never says no? It says yes. And so if you say, okay, well, yes, I want the finances, but, and then the universe, your consciousness, your awareness says, you're absolutely right. What's your but? Well, I think I have to work hard. You're exactly right. You're going to have to work hard. Well, I don't think anything I get ever comes easy. You're exactly right. It won't come easy for you. I think that in order for me to be happy, I have to have X amount of dollars in my bank account. You're exactly right. You'll never feel happy until you have X amount of dollars in your bank account. You know, I'll only feel full. I'll only feel wanted if I have a lover. Well, you're exactly right. You'll only feel full and loved if you have a lover. You condition your desires. You'll always have to meet those conditions. Hey, Gracie. Every desire will always be met with these conditions because you're building up these mountains for yourself. Instead of removing the mountains, you're adding mountains and stumbling blocks and obstacles. So every time you have a desire and you condition it, well, I can have it, but it's going to be so hard to get. You're exactly right. It will be so hard to get. You know, I see myself with it, but I know that it's going to take 2 years. Well, you're exactly right. It's going to take 2 years. Well, I feel myself, you know, I know these things should happen, but you're exactly right. You're right. You're right. So how about saying the thing you want without conditioning it? How just say, man, it's such a blessing to have these things. It's so amazing. It's like, I knew that this thing is for me. And then just stop there. No condition behind that. Just like, yes, I am that. And then that's it. Yes, I have a successful business, wonderful clients. They love my products, my services. You know, I am well compensated for what I give to the world. It comes back to me 30, 60, 100-fold. It is multiplied exceedingly. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that I can ever ask or think, according to the power that works within me. And that power never fails me, because that power is love, and love never fails. So I must accomplish that thing in which I have thought in my mind. What I have sent out into must come back to me. It must return. It cannot return void. It must do the thing and accomplish the thing for which I sent it out to do. Yes, yes. You have nothing to overcome. Hey, Elizabeth. Yes, I am. I have. I know. Period. That part. You have to practice speaking life. Speaking life. We have been so trained in speaking death. We have to renew our minds to life. Choose life. Choose life. Just choose life. Let go of conditioning your desires. Those that are students of those who read Neville's books and listens to his lectures, he continuously reminded you of that. Do not condition your desires. Just say that's what you want and let that be enough. You don't have to add to it or take away from it, right? And so we take away by telling ourselves, well, it may take too long. You know, I don't know anyone who's ever experienced this. How would I feel? What would I do? What would it look like? You know what I've been telling myself? I absolutely have no idea what it's going to look like, and I don't need to. I don't need to know. I don't need to know what it looks like. That's not necessary. Because what did the Christ say to, was it doubting Thomas? Blessed are they who have not seen and yet still believe. Even when you can't see the end, like, Neville say, live in the end, go to the end, and envisioning, what if you can't see it? What if your mind doesn't allow you to even see the end? Are you now still not going to believe in it? No, blessed are those who have not seen and yet still believe. I don't have to envision it. All I have to do is speak it. I don't have to know what it looks like. in order for me to experience it. Remember, I told you guys, when I manifest, I don't imagine what I'm doing. I just speak what I want to experience. I don't first see myself doing it. I know others do. Others say, I can see myself on the plane. I can see myself in the car. I can see myself in the house. For me, that's not necessary. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see because I am that, I'm going to naturally express it. Right. Be your own case. Exactly. We get so caught up in how another person got their experience. Well, it's not about how they got it. It's about how you're going to express it. No two people experience this world the same. People like say, oh, well, rich people do this. Well, rich people do that. You don't know what these rich people are doing and what these rich people are not doing. It's about what you as a rich person will do. That's all that matters. What you as a rich person will do. Now, can you be inspired by others and listen to like how they reconfigured their mind to accept that reality? Of course, because we're all connected, But when you get wherever you're going, when you get to wherever you're going, it's about how will you be? How will you be? How will you show up? And it's based on your own concept of yourself. It's how do you see yourself? Because then that's how you're going to express it, whatever comes into your reality. And so if you feel like you get a desire and it doesn't feel normal to you, well, then that's going to be your experience. It will never feel normal to you. And it's not, if you're okay with it not feeling normal, then who cares what anyone else thinks? It just won't feel normal to you. And then other people will be like, well, yes, it's very normal to me. It's not weird. It's not strange. I know this should be happening. And then for you, that's how your life will be. It will always feel normal. It won't feel weird. It won't feel like it's not supposed to be happening. Right. That's it. That's it. The how or the when should never be up in your equation. Never. Because there is no when and there is no how, because it's already done. That's the mindset we're supposed to be operating from. If it's already done, how could you ever consider the how or the when? Because it's already done. And so if we just live from that mind, if we just live from that state of mind, because it's already done, I don't need to know the how or the when. Because creation is finished, the work is over. I just need to be still and know. Be still and trust. Hey, user 433. Exactly. Because all things are possible to them that believe, and with God, all things are possible. Yes, Burkano, yes. Hey, Rodney, yes. Yes, that knowing is so beautiful and it's peaceful. It's a stillness. And I know we try to describe it as a feeling. And you can try to say, well, if you think peace is a feeling, if you think serenity is a feeling, if you can say that it's because for me, I can only talk about for me. When I know a thing is done, like I truly know that it's done, it's an indescribable feeling. I can't describe the feeling because it's just a calmness. It's just a peace. It's just normal. That's the only way like I can describe it for me. Like it's not a giddiness, it's not an excitement, it's not happy. It's after it comes into my experience, and then when I'm telling it, there's a happy state then, and it's an excited state. But when I have that knowing, like yes, it's done. That what the Bible says is that Sabbath day of rest. Your mind is no longer anxious. Your mind is no longer doubtful. You're just not concerned of the how or the when. It's just a stillness in your mind. Your thoughts are just steady, and you really don't even care to even think about it anymore or to contemplate it anymore. You're just at peace with it. Yes. Yep. That's what I say, Gracie. Rich Rising, Bubba I am. How are you? Hey, Sporty. Yes, asking and doing can definitely manifest an outcome. Yes. We've been working to make things happen all of our lives. But now we realize when you understand the law of mind, there's less doing and more being. Before you understood the law of mind, you thought you had to go out and make something happen. Here's the thing, you were never making it happen. You were just doing things backwards. You were trying to do the thing before being the thing. And that's where people get, again, they get stressed, they get tired. They're like, oh my goodness, I'm so tired of trying. I'm so tired of grinding. I'm so tired of hustling. I'm so tired of working long days and long nights. I'm so tired of, why can't it be easy? Why do I have to work so hard? Why do I have to do so? Because you were never meant to work for it. So working for it is a way. That is a way. There is a way that seems right to a man, but the end of that man is destruction. And destruction just means hardships, struggle, strain, force, push, pull. Trying to figure out how to make it so. That's where the stress comes from. That's where the anxiety comes from. That's where the depression comes from. Because you were never to try to figure it out. But that's what the world told you. The world told you if you worked harder, if you gave up more, if you sacrificed more. And people do it every day and have not seen a change, have not seen a difference. Now there are people that would tell you about the hard work that they did. Very successful people would talk about the hard. They would call it hard work. But I would beg to differ with them. I would say they had a mind that was made up, that was determined, that was committed. And they enjoyed the work, air quotes, that they were doing because it was natural to them. It's like when you convince yourself that you're the greatest at anything, right? And so we take like the Michael Jordans, the Michael Jacksons of the world, right? And when you hear them talk about them doing the thing that they loved, and they woke up, they ate, slept, and drank their desire, right? And to the outside world, it's like, man, you gave your life to that. Because they said, I am that. I am the greatest basketball player ever of my time. And so in order to be the greatest, you're going to do things that others won't do. You're going to think differently. And that thinking is going to express itself in a certain way, right? So Michael Jordan had a regimen when it came to his basketball life, right? Because for him, it wasn't just to be a part of the team. It was to be the greatest player to ever play the game, where someone else's desire was just to be a part of the team. They just wanted to be in the NBA. That was their desire. It wasn't about being the greatest. It was about being one of the 12 on the team, or one of the 5, however, I think they have 12 players on a basketball team. One of the 12, right? That was their desire. I just wanted to, like I was listening to a football player. I think his name is Jameis Winston. That's his name. And so he was a number 1 draft pick in the NFL. And he was talking, and they were asking him, about his football life. And, they were asking like, man, you were one of the greatest college athletes of your time. And, you know this because you were number 1 draft pick overall. And he was saying that, yeah, my dream was to be in the NFL. But my dream wasn't to win the Super Bowl. And he said, I didn't dream big enough. And he said, that's what I tell kids now, to dream bigger than you can ever imagine. Because if you allow yourself to dream that big, then you will allow yourself to experience it. He was like, but the thing is, he I guess he doesn't realize he could still dream that. He's still playing in the NFL. He could still believe that the Super Bowl is possible for him. But if he thinks, because he's been in the league 11 years and maybe he think he's past his time or past his prime. But, my thing is, once you made this in the NFL, your dreams didn't have to stop. Your dream now I'm in the NFL. Now let me see what else I can do. Now let me dream even greater. Let me expand. Now allow myself to see myself as a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Yes. No, I don't journal. Right, yep. Make choices from love. No, now I've written things down. I'm not gonna say I haven't written things down. And I think I was doing it because others were saying this is something you should do instead of something that being natural to me. So if I want to write something down, I will. But it's just more of a way of, it's more of an affirmation. It's more of affirming that which is already true. But when it comes to specific things that I want to experience in my world, I just had to talk to myself. I noticed, I don't need to do a vision board. I don't need to write it down. I just need to say it to myself inwardly and allow it to like seek in. Like I keep saying it until I normalize it for me. That's what I have to do. I have to keep having that conversation in my mind. Like, yes, this is possible. Yes, it's already done. Yes, this is who I am. When that other voice, that doubting voice, tries to come up and say, well, how's that going to happen, or when, and all that noise tries to rise. I know I just have to just talk to myself. I have to settle my mind and be like, no, it's already done. Whatever conversation, because because the conversation is never the same, right? The conversation is in the moment. It's in the presence. It's while I'm thinking about it, when I'm starting to feel anxious, when I'm starting to feel doubtful. I have a conversation with myself. Oh, yep. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Yes. Hello, candies and creams. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Gracie. Heaven is within. It's not a place you go to. Peace and love. To explain more in the conversation with myself. Yeah, so it happens mostly when I first awake in the morning. And I'm just I'm getting to the place now where, because I can, how you can tell that you had an evolution of mind, a true renewing of your mind, when you finally get to that space where you realize that it's not about the getting, it's about the being. And when you finally realize it's about the being, the quote unquote getting, the things they come when they're supposed to come, and you're not concerned of the when and the how. You just it's a done thing. And because you understand there's an appointed time for all things, it always comes exactly when it's supposed to. It's never late. It's always on time. And you learn to just appreciate more. So my conversations, my talking to myself is more of appreciation now. It's more of an acceptance of who I am. It's more of, okay, the thing that I may have been desiring that has not, materialized in the physical yet. I have that conversation with myself. It's like, okay, so what if that thing never materializes? Am I not going to appreciate my life anymore? And I'm going to say that I'm not in a good space, that I don't have great relationships, that I don't have, my finances are in a great place. My life is really, really amazing. So if that thing that I'm asking to be fulfilled doesn't happen, does that take away from who I am? No, but how can it not happen? How can it not happen? Because it has to happen, because there's no failure in God. There's no failure in your awareness. There's no failure in love. So the questioning of what if it never happens, there's no such thing of it not happening. So because it cannot not happen, then what are we tripping for? What are we? Just be excited about life, appreciate life, find things to be grateful for, find things to, and I know grateful, air quotes. I know I say grateful because I'm getting away from that mindset of gratitude and more of appreciation. Because to me, gratitude puts you into a space of thinking that you did something to make it so, as opposed to just being it, and that's why it's so. So appreciation to me gives me in that mindset of, I don't need to do anything to appreciate life. I don't need to do anything. I just need to be. I just need to exist. I just need to notice what's around me, to see what's already there. And what's already there is enough. It's fulfilling. It's more than enough. Yes, a revelation. Yes, that's it. And then those conversations causes me to be like, okay, because as much as we talk about not judging, not judgment, we be guilty of judging, right? We find ourselves judging maybe our family, our friends, our co-workers, our business partners, our clients, whatever, right? And so it's getting me more into like those that are really close in my world, that I can truly start, because I'm starting to truly accept me. I'm truly starting to accept them. So when I think of them, it's from a place of acceptance. It's like, okay, my children, they all are different. They all are unique. They all have their own paths. They all have their own walks in life. And it's just my job to use my mind in a loving way regarding them. That even though I may question their path, question their choices, it's really none of my business. What they choose to do in this life, no more than my choices was anyone else's business, right? Just like what I decided and the choices that I made, it's just all for the experience. And now I'm coming to the realization that it's just about accepting their choices, accepting their path, and knowing that it ends well. That's all. It ends well. That their path is going to lead them to fulfillment. And I don't get to decide their choices and how that path and that road ends up for them. But if I know that the power that's in me, the love that's in me is in them, just like it shows and reveals itself to me, will show and reveal itself to them. And that the end is that I know the thoughts and plans I have for you, says the Lord of hosts. Thoughts to prosper you and not to harm you, and to bring you to an expected end. So then why are we thinking that something is out to destroy us, or out to get us, or to do us wrong? The only thing that can create that is you. You're the only one that can destroy or destroy your life, or have a destructive outcome. It's you. It's your thoughts. Because if you didn't think it, it couldn't happen. And so that's the renewing of the mind. And truly loving yourself allows you to truly love others. Because how could you love you and want the best for you and then not want the best for others? Like, how do you not want others to experience peace, joy, love, success, wisdom, health, wealth? Right? How could you not want that for others? Yes, yep. Don't need anything. And see, what the religious minded don't understand is that fear mongering doesn't work on someone who knows themselves, who operates in love. And it just boggles the mind. When I was a Christian, that's one thing I didn't go around doing, pointing fingers and telling people that they were going to hell if they didn't believe like me. I didn't do that. That just wasn't in me to do it. And the fear mongering, the brimstone and hell rhetoric, the eternal hellfire rhetoric. Do you not all think that's exhausting? Do you all do not get tired of saying it? And I know you think you're not going, so because there's nowhere to go. That's why you're not going there, because there's nowhere to go. And that's the paradox. You think everybody else is going to this fantasy place, and you know you're not going because you know it's not real. It's not a place to go. Oh my goodness. Because if hell was a real place, those who were telling you that you were going will be the main ones lighting it up. Because they're the main ones not living according to their doctrine, their religious teachings. They're the main ones, quote unquote, doing the most sinning, whatever they deem that to be. They're the ones struggling with the quote unquote lusts of the flesh. They're the ones operating in fear. They're the ones not loving their neighbors as themselves. They're the ones not doing everything commanded in scripture. Yet they point the finger at you and tell you how you're ungodly and you're wrong. Oh yes, we've got the 10K. Yes, you can come up. Candies and creams, did you want to come up? I see you put a request in. Yes, we passed the 10K. I didn't even realize. I stopped looking. But yes, 10K the easy way. We've overcome that. We've passed it. You can come up and have your say. The boxes are open. If you want to come up and have a discussion, share your journey, have questions. But this is about discussion, not debate, not about proselytizing, preaching. We're not here. We don't need to be taught by, we're not here to be preached at. I don't mind having a discussion, but not to be preached, not to be trying to be convinced or converted. Okay, I thought so. Oh, yes, Elizabeth. Yes. Absolutely. Hello, Beck.
Hello, T.
How are you?
So, I got a verse to share, and I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Kids are back in school.
Oh, our daughter doesn't go until next Thursday.
Well, our county's already started. Praise God. Um, but the conversations brought me to Ephesians 3, and it's that he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with might by his Spirit in the inner man, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that ye being rooted and grounded in what? Love, may be able to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth and length and depth and height, and to know the love of Christ with which passeth knowledge, that ye might be filled with all the fullness of who? God. Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh where? In us. In us. There is a power in us. Until you know the rest.
Yes, beautiful. And I know most people think this Christ is a man that existed 2,000 years ago, but as Paul clearly stated, I no longer perceive Jesus Christ from a human perspective, though I once perceived him that way, because Christ is not a person. It is a power. It is a force. It is the knowledge, it's the wisdom of all.
Elizabeth, it's Ephesians 3, 16 through 20.
Yes. Grand Rising, Diana. Welcome. Yeah, kids are in school in some parts of the country. My county doesn't start till the 16th of August, so they have another week.
Yeah,
That was
we live in a small county. It's kind of a rural county, so maybe like, agriculture season starts. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just we're smaller.
I know a lot of states down south also start. And some schools are year round schools. Like everyone has like a different way of doing it. Yeah, because there are certain parts of my state that have started school, especially if they are year round schools. So yeah, but it's cool. But yes, I love when you remind us of scripture, of what the Bible, of the promises. And if people would just focus on the promises, right? Because the scriptures that talk about sin and death and and judgment, that's coming from within. And I know people think that's coming from the outside, but it's only coming from within. The Bible's a book all about you, and it's talking about your two natures that's within you, and how the one nature must come to subjection of the higher nature. That's all. That your fear, your doubt, your limitation, your unbelief, your disbelief, your five senses must become become one with the higher self. It's really about a unity. It's really about marrying the two.
The verse that I brought up earlier, because when you were talking about how someone asked if you journaled things and you said you like to speak out loud to yourself, it made me think faith comes by hearing. But I did a little study once, and in my study, I put my words are spirit, God is spirit, faith come by hearing the word of God, and then faith is the evidence of things unseen. So all of these things kind of tie together when it comes to faith and what faith is supposed to look like and how you strengthen faith. And it's literally you have to hear it out loud. You have to speak to yourself.
That's it. That's it. Love that. And it's not even necessary that I speak to out loud. It's an inward conversation. Most of my conversations are inward. It's not something I vocalize outwardly.
That's true because there's like a spiritual hearing in my perspective. Like a soul, like you listen with your soul. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, because if I can, because I feel like when I do it without using my vocal cords, that's the best way for me to calm this body. When I'm in that stillness and I can get the body to truly be in a relaxed state when I'm talking inwardly. Hey, 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 fresh air and hood women said we gotta give a hey Fatima, that is beautiful. We gotta give a cheer for her daughter going to a private school. That is amazing. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
Congratulations. You made that happen.
Yes. What do you mean? What do you mean, Jacoya? Not heart attacks. What?
Oh, when you speak like on the inside, when you speak to yourself.
What, someone has a heart attack?
Well, some like the way I was trying, I may be wrong, but
I mean, I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, expound on that, please.
I struggled with codependency and depression and anxiety, and I have like spiraling thoughts in those moments. So whenever I talk to myself and it's not in the right state of mind, I give myself panic attacks. But I don't know if that's what Jacoya is talking about.
Okay.
Girl, yes. Hi, y'all. I'm Jacoya. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So it's like, I guess like regulating your nervous system and getting yourself to like really believe, not really like believe, because it's like you already have that inner knowing, but it's like a challenge sometimes because it's like, say you're in a position where life is like, you have to do this. You need to meet these requirements. You got to be, you need this, and this. But then it's like, also spirit is like, okay, calm yourself. Like, everything's going to be okay. But then you like, for me, so I'm in a situation right now where I was just recently got into a really bad car accident. And, I walked out scratch free, my car is completely totaled. And it's like my car was my job. So, for me, I have this sense of stillness right now where it's like, I don't have any bills or anything that I need to really worry about, but I'm still trying to like intercom myself from being so worried. Even though that all things work together for your good, it's still that sense of like I need to do this, I need to get here, I'm supposed to be you know and so I'm like, even with trying to like inner talk to yourself, it's like a tug and war challenge, and it's like disrupts my nervous system or dysregulate me somehow, and I'm like, and then I start finding myself freaking out. So that's what I was like kind of saying, like, yo, I'll be having
Kind of like what Beck was describing.
attacks.
I guess that we just, when we can come to the full realization that we are the creator of the experience, like when we can really get that in our consciousness, we will just be so careful of the words that we choose. And because your words are spirit and they are life. And so just be so careful about, oh, this is disrupting this and this is causing this and I'm experiencing that. Speak what you want it to be, not what it appears to be happening. Right? So I know this whole regulating the nervous system, that sounds like something new that has gotten into the spiritual community. And to me, we just keep coming up with ways to derail ourselves. We keep thinking that something is wrong with us and it's always something we have to overcome. And that simply isn't true. There is nothing to overcome. There's only to be. And if we could just allow the body to do what the body's going to do, which is we're to actually train the body. We're actually to tell the body, when you feel like your body is not obeying the words of God, you have to keep telling it to obey the word of God. You have to train the body. You have to ride the beast of burden, which is, and Christ told the disciples to go get the coat that had never been ridden, right? That's what you're riding, this emotion that you have never experienced before. Now you have to train it. You have to settle it down. And
Yeah.
and I think we're too much. Go ahead.
What I want to let so what you're kind of describing is something called cognitive behavioral therapy in the psychological community. And like you say, this is why I love what you talk about, because you say the book is a psychological book. It's mind science. And my fascination with psychology has also brought me to this conclusion that, I see a lot of like, because, they didn't have these terms that we have now or definitions that we have now. They were operating in language and the literary style that they had back then. But when he's talking about take every thought captive, or when Paul says, think on these things whatsoever, blah, 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 blah. This is a form of cognitive behavioral therapy. It's where you are disciplining your mind to no longer think the way that you did in the old ways. Like the old man is the way the Bible would describe it. And that's why Paul talks a lot about the inner man. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. I know exactly what you're saying. Yep. Yep. And so that's what it is. And a lot of times when we come up with these labels that comes from our medical community, and then we attach ourselves to these labels, and we don't understand by attaching ourselves to these labels, we're creating it for ourselves. But if we would just allow the body to experience what it experienced it without naming it, and just talk to it and tell it all is well. Be peace, be still. And you just keep saying peace, be still. And not be in a rush, but be in the present moment. Be in that moment of talking to yourself Peace be still. All is well. Peace be still. Nothing, as one teacher used to say, there's nothing serious going on here. It's only serious going on here because you're making it that way, because you're creating it with your thoughts. Your thoughts literally are the power. They really are the source and cause of everything that you're experiencing. So when we truly get a grasp of that, we would now choose what words we are going to give life to. So you only want to give life to peace, to joy, to serenity, to tranquility. And so you have to speak those things that be not as though they were. I know you may be feeling anxious, but you don't call it anxiety, right? You just say, all is well, peace be still, all is well. As scripture says, let the weak man say, I am strong. So you speak the thing you want it to be, not what it's currently being, because that is just past anyway. That's an old state. Now it's time to live in the new state, in the reality in which you want to experience.
So would you say part of that is like you understand that you are one individual, and if you feel overwhelmed by this to-do list, you're like, it'll get done. It's done already. But I'm one person. I have to do what I do one thing at a time. Or, do you know what I'm saying? Or, like,
Yeah, because it's about imagining it first, and then the doing will be natural. And so when you say imagining, it can be you're actually seeing pictures, or it could just be you're talking to yourself, which is how imagining is for me. Imagining for me is talking, not necessarily seeing actual pictures, right? I actually, my symbols are words, and words are pictures, right? Just like pictures are words. They're one and the same. They're not separate, right? So it's however whatever your talent is. And we get overwhelmed because we think it's something we have to do. There's nothing you have to do, but you can say what you want it to be, and then you find yourself doing whatever's necessary. Whether you'll say, you know what, I'm going to set aside some money for someone else to come take care of these household chores, or because you're at peace that for 3 days to clean the home, as opposed to trying to do it all in one day. You could say, yes, this day I'm going to do these all in one day. You could say, yes, this day I'm going to do these chores. Or I'll give myself 3 chores, because to me that's not overwhelming. Or it could be 1 chore, because that's not overwhelming to me. And then you find like, oh, I'm doing 1. I actually have the strength in, instead of trying to control the happening. Just allow the happening. Control the happening. Just allow the happening instead of trying to control the happening. And you'll find that when you allow the happening to happen, it'll be easy. You'll just flow with it. Now you're going downstream instead of trying to paddle up current, going against yourself. You want to go with yourself, not against yourself, because there's nothing you have to be doing.
yeah, a lot of times I don't think people realize that even like thinking on something expends mental energy, which can tire you. So when you dwell so much on controlling and figuring out, like controlling the how instead of just letting it be, you are literally wearing yourself out, and before you even attempt to get it done.
Yep, before you even. So is everyone hearing the live choppy? Because I hear everyone clearly. I hear you clearly, Beck. Am I choppy?
Usually the way it works is people up in the panel don't experience the choppiness.
Thank you for that. That's interesting. Sometimes, depending on their reception, sometimes they can come across choppy too, because I can tell if the Wi-Fi is good or not. Okay, I'm clear right now.
Yeah, I've experienced it on other lives before that the people in the comments will be like, everything's lagging or looping or choppy. And then the people up in the panel are like, I don't hear anything. But they hear, I don't hear anything, you know.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I don't even know how you even make that, how you make it better.
Yeah, it's literally the app's issue. It's a them problem. Making it a us problem.
We're like, well, I changed the Wi-Fi. I went and I got rid of AT&T and went and got, you know, Xfinity. So I feel like I got the best Wi-Fi that's out there. Say TikTok be hating. Oh, that's funny. But yes, I mean, it truly is a mind thing. It really does. We think it's about, what we physically do, but it was never about what we physically do. It was always about what we do in our mind, because the body always follows the mind, and we just got to follow the mind, and we just got to stop, building up these things we have to overcome. We have to stop creating the mountains, stop creating the diseases, stop, identifying. We have been conditioned that way. And you're told in the spiritual community, because to me, unfortunately, the spiritual community has has residuals from the religious community. It still operates from a fear-based mindset. It still has you thinking that something is out to deter you or to get in your way, or that something doesn't want you to have a thing. And so you got to be tested. You have to be tried. You got to go, jump through hoops and over hurdles and all of these things. And you just got to recondition the mind to say, no, none of that is necessary. There's no reason for me to test myself. All I have to do is decide that I am that, and I shall be. Oh, okay. On YouTube, the videos are perfect. That's good. You say it's a robot voice? Wow. Say, I find encouragement. Like I said, I'll listen to Dr. Joseph Murphy. I don't listen to anyone as much as I used to. It's probably been about 2 or 3 months since I used to, for like the past 7 years prior to these last 2 or 3 months, I used to faithfully every day read Neville Goddard, listen to Reverend Ike, read and listen to Dr. Joseph Murphy. I was listening to Abraham Hicks. When I started on this journey, the first 7 years, I was just consuming and wanting to understand the law of mind. And for the bulk of that time, it was mostly Neville Goddard's teachings, his lectures, his books. And I also would, dabble in other, like I said, Dr. Joseph Murphy, Reverend Ike. I've read Emmett Fox, listened to Ernest Hemingway. I have the book, I think it's The Strangest Secret. I had an app that was called the Law of Attraction app, and they had all kind of free books and free books to read, as well as audio books. I probably listened to almost every book and listened to every book on that app. I think the only one I didn't get into was the Napoleon Hill book. That was the only book that didn't resonate with me that was on that app. And then there's a couple of other books that I bought that didn't resonate with me either. It was the Seed of the Soul and The Power of Now. I couldn't get into those books either, although I bought them. For some reason, those books didn't resonate with me. But yeah, for the most part, I was just eating, drinking, sleeping Neville Goddard. And then, like I said, like the last 2 or 3 months, I realized, okay, I don't need to consume anything else. I don't need to know how someone else saw life. It's about how I decide to live life. Now I'm my encourager. Now I wake up, and because I've always meditated every day. once I understood meditation, because at first that was a little wacky as well. That was kind of like hit or miss at first too, because you're trying to meditate according to who? Because someone else told you, oh, you should listen to music. Oh, you should do breath work. Oh, you should quiet the mind, have no thought, focus thought. I had to realize what worked for me. Right. And that's part of the journey, right? You're going to take others' advice, do other people say, people's on into, like my husband, he tried the tarot cards. We tried the crystals. I got the astrology book. Like, I was doing all of these things on the outside, still thinking that those were the keys, right? You still kind of go through that am I enough mentality. Even though you come away from religion, you're still going through that state of am I enough? Do I need something on the outside of me? And you finally come at peace with yourself when you come to that realization that you are enough. Right. Oh my goodness. Oh, Eckhart, I'm like, hurry up, get it out, dude. Why are you talking like that? Right, Elizabeth? You're like, come on, spit it out. What's taking you so long? You want to act like you're having this deep contemplative thought before you ever say a word. Like, but everybody got, maybe that is how he truly talk. I don't know. But it was, I was like, you have to listen to him on 2 times speed. For me anyway. But clearly people resonate with him because he has a huge fund. He sells many books. So clearly he has a community,
Community of long-winded people.
Oh, okay. Hello, Black Raven. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, when you stopped reading Neville, I think that was the point where you decided I have the skills and tools that I need to go mine and dig gems for myself now.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's the place we all eventually get to. Eventually, right? Everybody has their own path. And again, I think we still have this mind of, am I enough? Is there a right or a wrong? We still thinking there's a wrong way when there is no wrong way. It's about your way. It's your path. It's your experience. And then just learning to just stop putting mountains in your path. Stop putting obstacles in your path and know that the road was meant to be light and easy. Light and easy.
Paul talks about strongholds. So I imagine people have just built themselves up in this mental stronghold. And they're not even on a path. They're stagnant.
Yeah, because they're still trying to figure out how to climb that mountain when faith says just move it. Hello, Black Raven.
Hello.
What's going on?
Not much, just chilling with my dog. What about you?
Oh, you see what I'm doing? I'm chopping it up with my community.
Oh, cool. So you guys are Christians.
No.
Oh. What is it you believe in, if you don't mind me asking?
I believe in myself.
Oh, I like that. But you say I'm an atheist, and I'm not being disrespectful. Maybe you can educate me. But the idea of like saying we are our own gods does not really work in practice as much as I wish it would. Like, example, are the people in Gaza who are starving, are they their own gods? They clearly are unaliving. Are the people in horrible situations where they are being beaten by an abusive partner, are they their own gods? Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just genuinely curious.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, because that's a point that not only, I guess, atheists would bring forward, but so would Christians or religious people, whether you're is a Muslim or have Islamic practices, or any religious organization would also say the same thing. And so when I say that you're your own God, I'm saying the creative power in man is the mind. And the reason why anyone is experiencing anything is because of the way they have been conditioned to think. We are conditioned when we come in this world to operate in fear. We're not conditioned in love. We're conditioned in fear. Fear
Oh,
of
I
the...
agree.
Go ahead.
Sorry if I cut you off. I did not intend to. I was just saying I agree with you. I come from a Muslim family. I myself am an atheist though. But like in my family, it's like we are always taught, fear God. If you do not live a righteous life, God will punish you. It's never through love. It's always through fear. It's like an abusive relationship that you are in. The idea, I guess, of being your own God is works better. But I do wonder, do you believe in life after?
No, I
Like in
believe
the
there's only life. So when I say, okay, so I know you keep saying being your own God. It's not that you're, okay, so when I say we are gods, I'm saying that we are one consciousness, and we are individualized expressions of that one creator, that one source, that one mind. However, we get to use that one mind however we deem necessary and fit for us. And like we stated previously, that when you come into this experience, the mind that you're given is the mind of fear. But when you come to the realization that you get to control your mind and you get to change your mind, and that this ends up not being a collective thing, but an individualized way, an individualized walk, then those who are experiencing poverty or experiencing traumatic relationships and being abused in any kind of way can change that once they learn to love themselves. Because love is the key. Love is the only transforming power. It allows you to love you, and it allows others to know how to love you. See, when you don't love you, you expect other people to love you more than you love yourself. But that's impossible. The world only reflects what you believe about you. That's it. And so if you're conditioned in a way that people can hurt you, they can have authority over you, they can do whatever they want to you because you don't know yourself. You don't know the power that's in you. God in scripture is just a personification of the mind. See, you have to determine what's your concept of God. See, I don't see God as some being outside of me in the sky looking down on me, trying to decide if he's going to bless me or not. I don't even see God as a he. God is a power. God is energy. God is my awareness. It is my consciousness. It is the life force within me. It's the reason I live, move, and have my being.
honestly, the way you explained that was fucking perfect. Sorry for swearing, but I just loved it. It was so good. Yes, Queen, slay. As like you say in America, slay. That was so good. I love it. And I agree wholeheartedly. Sorry for my bad English, but
Oh,
like,
you're
yeah,
good. You're good. My English probably isn't so great either.
it's much better than mine.
And I grew up in America, so, kudos to the American school system.
Unfortunately, in America, I don't mean to disrespect your country, but the education system there is very flawed.
Yeah. They want to know what country are you from?
I'd rather not say. I
Okay.
do not like sharing too much personal information on this app. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. You're good. No problem. Yes. Did you have any other questions or anything, but because that's how when I say God, I'm not saying, we say God, but we only mean the power that's within you, and you only have the power to control you and not another. And unfortunately, a lot of our religious organizations is about controlling others as opposed to controlling yourself. See, I know that if people would just mind their business and live life with love, their world would be different. And my world is different. My personal world. See, I believe that there are as many worlds as there are people in the world because no two people are perceiving the reality the same. Even those that are in the war-torn countries, they all still have their individualized perspective of their experience. Some are believing this too shall pass, peace will happen, and others are still operating in fear
So it
and
goes.
hate.
Well, honestly, madam, that is all my questions are answered, and I think we genuinely believe the same thing. So yeah,
Cool, cool. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate the conversation.
I appreciate you as well. May I stay up here or
Oh,
must
sure.
I
Yes.
go?
Yes, you can.
Thank you, madam.
Oh, you're welcome. Hello, Munchie. Back.
Hello. I agree with everything that you're saying.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah. He said, I don't want to be disrespectful to your country. You totally should be, man. Not to the people, but the rulers, bro. The wicked rulers with their malicious ways of darkness, etc.
Well, you guys have Donald Trump, and he's well,
Yes, yes. We
yeah.
vote for him a third time. Even we're gonna do it. Just kidding. God forbid.
Mm,
Well,
Donald Trump,
I
third
don't get
edition.
into the political conversation because what the
Okay,
world does is
yeah.
none of my business. They
It's
get
out of
to
our control. I mean, it is in our control, but it's out of our control. Like, we can't vote to
right. The
end.
people got exactly what they wanted. So
Exactly. Exactly, it sucks. I hate it here. Let's go back.
well, why do you hate it here if you're the creator of your own reality?
Go forward.
Right? Why would you hate it here if you're the creator of your reality?
The reason why I feel this hatred is because it is the accumulation of hundreds of years of slavery and genocide and oppression by the Catholic Church, and I see the corruption that has been created by the colonists, the capitalist imperialists, and so therefore, like every other revolutionary thinker, anybody that opposes, simply, I hate it here. But like, I saw it kind of tangent, but John Brown, the abolitionist man that led a revolt, a white man, that was preaching, and he did the Old Testament violence to free the enslaved people. And he said that's the only way. The only way is through violence. Unfortunately, that is true. And so that is why I feel this hatred, but I must balance it with love because, like Che Guevara says, it's all love, first of all. Love for the people. So I love the people, I also am very, very, very disappointed with the people. So there's my spiel. I don't know. I just say stuff and I hope that something sticks.
Did you also know that John Brown thought that he was Moses reincarnated?
Yes, and I do also know that the TV show, it's a drama based off of a fictional book, and actually because of his ideology and what he did opposing slavery, just like every other revolutionary, his name was tarnished. They said that he was a schizophrenic madman, when in actuality he was a very calm, rational person, and his speeches were actually pretty boring apparently. But in the depictions that we know of him, he's a madman because only a madman would want to end slavery through violence,
mm.
So I mean, it's
Well, but
it,
I know you want to focus on the
yeah. Somebody please take over.
Manche, if I may ask, how long have you been a non-believer?
I am a believer. I'm also a non-believer. I don't know. I'm mostly a
Oh,
believer.
please explain.
I've been an atheist ever since 6th grade when I questioned Adam and Eve, and we were presented with the Australopithecus mother of Lucy. And I asked my mother, so there's this story about Adam and Eve, and they're supposedly the first ones. But then we have these remains that are millions and millions and millions of years old that we know is true, that we can verify and see, and we can actually, they're there. The bones are there. And she said, you know what she told me? She said, don't even think about it. She said, don't question it. Because that's conservatism, the Mexican Catholic conservatism that plagues my people. God bless her, though. She's not plagued. It's just, well, she didn't have access to education. I don't want to take over, but I'm a believer
I
ever
understand.
since 3 months, I guess.
I understand. I come from a Muslim community, and
Indeed.
yeah, and the way people blindly follow that and let it dictate their lives and control their lives and take away their critical thinking. And when people are having a psychosis, they assume they are possessed by demons and do
Mm.
sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Exorcisms on
Yeah,
them, and
perfect.
yeah, instead of getting them psychological help. It is insane.
It is archaic, ancient, and outdated. However, at the same time, it depends on where it is in the world that you are looking at it, because there are different interpretations of like possession and stuff. Possession doesn't have to be necessarily bad. It's only under the framework of Christianity and Catholicism specifically, which is
And
responsible for,
Islam.
and Islam, yes. The thing is that these religions were like specifically Judaism and Islam. Well, Islam is different. I don't mean to like teach you about whatever. I'm learning, so please. But the thing, it was wartime, and so there needed to be order, and so they did the order. But there's this misconception that Muhammad was like this warlord when he only
He
used
was a
violence.
warlord, though. Muhammad was definitely a warlord. I'm a leftist, yes, very proudly, but if we look at it from an outer lens, Muhammad was definitely a bad man. He was
Right.
objectively bad.
See, I don't. You're
Quite
you're
a
all
statement.
we're all talking about life from a literal perspective, and we're talking about it from a metaphysical, esoteric perspective.
Let's go there. I like it better there.
So the Christian and the Islamic narrative is literal, and those books should be studied from a metaphysical, esoteric. Those sacred texts were not meant to be taken. Were not meant to be literalized. They should have been studied from a metaphysical, metaphorical, symbolic. And I actually have a book that I'm going to read that breaks down the Quran from a metaphysical perspective. Um, the metaphysical interpretation of the Quran is Sufism, and the
Yes.
interpretation of the Bible is Gnosticism, right? And then what they say that the Torah is the Kabbalah, Kabbalistic teachings. So that's how we should be studying these sacred texts. They're reminding you that this world is a mental playground, and
Yes.
we're seeing in this world the wars, the rumors of wars, is what's only going on in the mind of man. And so, if it wasn't going on in the mind of man, then we wouldn't be having them. And the only reason we
Yep.
have a world is fear based. But that's why you're told in these sacred texts that you're not to walk by sight but by faith. That you're not to go by appearances. That you're to operate in love because love is the only transforming power. And when
Mm-hmm.
you focus on the wars, you only create more of them. When you focus on the hate, you create more of it. When you focus on poverty, you create more of it. If you are focused on the abundance, on the peace, on the joy, on the love, you will create more of it.
Is that magic?
Say, is it magic? It's law.
Yeah. I guess like the framework is like intention. So yeah, like
Cause,
the universe works mentally.
I was gonna say cause and effect.
Yeah, it's physics. I mean, there is entropy. It's the second law of thermodynamics, and it's like natural. I mean, the thing is, there's their natural world, and they were making sense of it, just like every culture did back then. Now, and it was scientific. but they explained it in symbolism, and people take it literally, and that's where everybody fails, because their very old laws, archaic conservatism. And we see now Christianity being evangelical Christianity is like the most damning force of all. I'm just going off course, but metaphysics, I love that.
Yes, and so that's what this platform is. So that's about transforming your reality. Yes, you can get caught up on what the world is doing and talk about how they're misleading and they're overpowering, or the dictatorship, or like, you can get into those conversations, but those talking about it doesn't change anything. You're talking about it gives your energy to it, and it just makes it expand. You want to give your energy and your conversation to what it is you want to see in the world, and then allow that to happen, and you'll see that you will jump timelines. As someone says, you will go into a parallel reality where you won't even hear about what the government is doing, what the Trump administration is doing, what's happening in the Middle East. Like, those things wouldn't even come near you. Though 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, it shall not come nigh thee. But it's about where you put your attention, because attention is the sap of life. It is what gives energy to your world. So I'm not going to give my attention to that, because I know that only makes it expand. I don't want to give my attention to the love, the light, the joy, the peace. That when I go out into the world, I encounter wonderful people. You just have to know that, because normally you do. Every now and again, you may run into somebody that may be grumpy or disgruntled, or having a difficult day because their mind is all over the place. They're confused and they feel hopeless and helpless. But you are the light that comes into their experience to lift the standard, to help them arise, to be, as Peter said at the gate, beautiful. Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have unto thee. Arise and walk. It's supposed to be
Yes,
lifting up the standard. Yep.
absolutely.
And so if we could just operate from that mindset, man, your world definitely will be a magical place.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's like retreat into a cave or something, or a study to where we're like, or no, into ourselves, but onto we are the world. I don't know. I've been obsessed with poetry.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody earlier said be your own case study.
Oh yeah. That is the ultimate thing, is understanding ourselves, and this is what in 1900s with psychoanalysis and Carl Jung and Freud were doing, which is now deemed pseudoscientific just because of the way that science progresses. And I think that's been bad. I think we've lost mythology, we've lost symbolism, we've lost poetry. I don't know.
Yeah, but now you can find it again, because it's all within.
Yeah,
It
and I think
wasn't
it's our duty to spread it.
hidden. Yep. Hello, hello, Micah J.
Hey, how's it going?
Great, great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Um, I was just looking at the prompt that says we are God having a human experience, and I thought immediately about Genesis 3, where uh it says that Satan was in the garden and he says to them, God knows that your eyes will be open and you will be like God. And so that prompt of we are God is the same kind of lie that Satan told Eve in the garden. And so I don't think that's
I mean,
that's true.
was it truly a lie? Did their eyes not become open? Did they not become aware of get the knowledge of good and evil? Was that really a lie? Do we not have the knowledge of good and evil?
The lie was that they would be like God.
Having the knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the lie was that they could be like God, and we can't
We
be God.
create and destroy.
Knowing good and evil. Why are we leaving that part out? Why are you
True.
acting from that part? Knowing good and evil.
I don't think I'm detracting from it. I think I'm just responding to the prompt that says like we are God, and I disagree with that a
Right.
lot.
But you gave the Genesis story about how you said the serpent lied to Adam and Eve that if they ate off the tree that they would not be like God, knowing good and evil. But that wasn't a lie. We do know good and evil.
Yeah, but we're not like God.
So what does it mean to be like God? Because I guess that's the disconnect. Because to be like
Mm.
God is to have the knowledge of good and evil. So what are you? How are we not like God?
Well, first of all, I can't control circumstances. That's one. Secondly, I can't create something out of nothing. Thirdly, I can't judge with a righteous judgment. And they can keep going on. I'm not omnipresent. I'm not omnipowerful. I'm not, I'm not a lot of things that God is.
Interesting. So you can't create something out of nothing. So you can't take something that isn't there and bring it into your experience.
Yes.
Really?
Is that not interpretation?
Right. Because you do take thoughts and have them manifest every single day.
Well, like literally in the gospel that Jesus told like the storm to stop and it stopped immediately. Like we don't have the power to do such things. Like you can stand outside all day and try to do that, but you can't. And so
We
it's
have
just an
tools.
indication that you aren't God.
That's not true. You can't do it because you haven't tried to do it. You've been told that it's incapable.
No, you can't do it, and no one else in this chat can do it.
How about the nuclear warfare and our bombs? Is that not God? In a sense of ultimate destruction, we can flood this earth. We are. So therefore, we do have some like closeness to that of destructive power. That's what we do is more destroy than create, it seems, lately.
Yeah, and that I think would then be an indication of our sinful nature as human beings. And that's what Jesus came to actually change is
Makes us more.
the
I
destructiveness inside of human beings.
I think it makes us more aware of our ignorance of ourselves. Not that we're sinful. 'Cause sin, like I think, as you know, humanity and even Christians, we should have progressed beyond this concept of sin, especially
Yes.
since there's no more law that's condemning us. So, I think now we've come to the realization that we learn from each other and we mimic. And sorry.
That's okay, but it's amazing how we can see how we're creative destructively, but we can't see that we're creative constructively. We can only point to the destruction of our mind to create and be like God, but we can't see that we can be constructive and be like God.
I feel we're constructed to be away from all of that because of the systems of power in place.
Yeah, because as someone mentioned, we take we took materials that were there and we built homes and we built, we make clothing, the things that make life more enjoyable, the conveniences of life. We took those things that were not and we made them into something that are. That's exactly what God does. God says, "Let there be," and it was, and that's exactly what we do. We say, "Let there be a tree. Let this tree be a chair," and it was. Let this tree be a sofa, and it was.
Yeah.
But we can take things that exist and construct out of them. But what I'm saying makes us not like God is that we can't create something new out of nothing
Well,
like God can.
creation is finished, is it not? Everything that was made already exists.
What
And
about
so
Well,
birth?
well,
John,
in Revelation, it says that God is going to create a new heavens and a new earth.
God is not doing a new thing. I thought God is doing new things. I thought there was nothing new under the sun.
No, so when he comes back, when Jesus comes back, he's going to judge the world, and then he's going to create a new heavens and new earth.
God never leaves you nor forsakes you.
I
Which, by
know,
the way,
like
is a
he,
concept much older than Jesus. The Hindus
Why,
had it
why he got to come back if he's always with you? Lord, I'm with you always, even until the end of.
as a trial, I think, because we're seeing our wicked ways and we're seeing, did we really deserve to be saved? I look at the wicked, I see the evils, and I'm like, we have done nothing. And so therefore are we transgressors as well? Because we're not doing anything. I mean, we're not doing any organization to do any meaningful like overthrowing of these systems. And Jesus himself was revolutionary, and he did use violence, and necessary to showcase that it is that some people do need to be fucking belted, man. You know, so I don't
no,
know.
I mean, the Bible teaches that all have sinned and fallen short. So we're all like on the same ground, so to say. And so before God, everybody falls short. And so the only way to like get that connection back with God is through the cross of Jesus Christ and how he died on the cross for our sins. And he rose from the dead 3 days later. And through faith in Jesus Christ, that's how that connection is rebuilt.
Not true, but
Can we
that's only true for you. That
But
can we
I gotta go to work, so I'll see y'all later. Thanks for letting me chat.
free the workers?
Go ahead. Thanks for coming. Because the
I was
Bible
gonna
is
say,
a person that existed in time and space. None of those people in the Bible are persons that existed in time and space. They're states of consciousness. That's why you never hear anyone discovering a grave site of any of those people in the Bible. They can come up with these archaeological renderings or findings of, oh, I found the Noah's Ark. I found a boat. How do you know it was Noah's Ark? Or someone even coming on my live saying
because the Lord told me,
they said they found the blood of Jesus Christ. Like, are you
heathen.
are you kidding me? You found the blood of Jesus Christ in 1980, and
Or like the Mormons, they're like, yeah, we're the Israelites, and Native Americans are actually the OGs, and the tablets here are real, man. Like what? I also want to make the point since I referenced America, Native Americans. I'm Mexican American, and our people were subjugated, oppressed by the Catholic Church to believe in Jesus through great violence and slavery, and we were taught sin. We were taught sin. We didn't have guilt nor sin. So that is a creation of the white man, and it's been used by the white man. And so therefore I think it's critical for colonized people to not get lost in these words of sin, because we have nothing really to be sinful, we were hurt. And so it pains me to see my people obsessing neurotically and psychologically and spiritually over this concept of sin, because I'm speaking from Catholicism. We invented hell and this devil that we're gonna go to hell and burn, motherfucker. Like, it's insanity. And so I hope that doesn't guide us. And I was also gonna say, so Muhammad was a real person, and apparently he could not read or write, but the Quran was written. How is that explained? Because I haven't researched into it, but I heard that, and I found that interesting. If you happen to know that.
this is one guy. His name is C. Freeman L. He teaches this esoteric.
What is his name?
He just said Muhammad actually is a title as well. That Muhammad, like the Christ, is a title. So is Muhammad in the Islamic text. So it's interesting.
When they say his name, they say, like, with respect. I forget the saying. Is that towards the man or also the?
They take the man literally, just like they take Jesus Christ literally, right? It's the same thing. They're taking Muhammad as a literal person that existed in time and space, just like people say Jesus Christ was a literal person that existed in time and space. When actually these sacred texts are just telling you about the mind and that the world is mental. That's all they're saying. It's not talking about actual people that populated the earth.
And this was Jesus learned from the Buddhists. This comes from the East, the mind, the ego, and then it comes from the Hindus, and then traces back all the way to the beginning of history. But this is why it's critical. I think I've been learning all these other cultures, all these other mythologies, because we must synthesize all of it, and never stray, though, never stray from the truth and justice. And so I think it's also important to, like, of course we do. Of course we explore these other philosophies and stuff to better understand ourselves in the world and God. And I don't know. I've determined that it's all ego. Ego is in the way that gets, and it gets in the way of everything. It gets in the way of the smallest things, and it gets in the way of the biggest things. And if I'm a person. I don't want to rant, but I'm a person that sees visions because I have the white man says I have a psychotic disorder. And so they send me to the hospital, dope me up with pills, which they have saved me. But anyways, I don't trust them. I don't trust doctors. Why would I trust doctors? They kill people. Anyways, they're protected. I lost my train. I don't know where the train went, and I don't know where the thought is. So
Okay.
that's that on that.
I'm gonna see what Butterfly has to say.
Butterfly is a sweet name.
Butterfly, are you there?
Hi, good morning. Sorry, I don't know how I ended up here. This is a mistake. But seeing how I'm up here, good morning, everyone. I'm in Colorado, so it's still morning. I think the conversations are very interesting, and some statements are pretty enlightening. So thank you for having this live this morning.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thanks for joining, whether it was by mistake or not. I know some people they say they be tapping the screen, they accidentally request stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. You could drop me down.
Nothing is a mistake, man.
Hello, Saint Monaco.
Hello. Good morning. What I see here today, I see the confusion more so than anything because people are so focused on the 3D and it confuses them. They go so deep and it jumps into another meaning and another rabbit hole and it just keeps going and it causes this confusion when really it's simple. It's very simple. It's not complex at all. You know, your thoughts create reality and we make it so complex. There's all kind of sectors and different religions and denominations and I just see, hearing some of your guests, I see where what it does to the mind, religion. It's really bad, and that's the purpose of it, to cause confusion. But it's really simple. The God in you, the inner world. It all starts in the inner world. And what I was trying to make the point in the chat was before the vehicle existed, it existed. You can't just pull from anywhere. There are millions and billions of different timelines. It's like a file cabinet in the universe. And in this file cabinet, it has you, and I'm just going to make up some examples. It has you as a millionaire. It has you dating a celebrity. It has you with the beach home. It has you healthy, but it also has you sick. It also has you depressed, divorce, and it's the timeline that you want to jump onto. Right? It's simple, but you have to believe that. You have to believe that there are different versions of you. So with the vehicle, before we even, we were riding horses, Little House on the Prairie type stuff, right? There was a man who said, what if I could use wheels to get us around? Like some type of mechanism where there's like four wheels. That didn't exist, but it did. It existed in the only true reality that there is, which is the inner world. Nothing comes forward.
The collective unconscious.
Nothing comes forward without you summoning it. It cannot. You have to. So the guy who invented the vehicle, he's seen it in his mind's eye. That's a place. That's your heaven. That's a real inner place. That's the only place that matters. The 3D is a reflection of what you've been thinking on and how you feel. That's why we now have the vehicle. He's seen it first in the blueprint of his inner world, the real world. The 3D is a mirror. If I'm standing in front of a mirror and I'm looking at myself and I'm not smiling, I'm like, why is my reflection not smiling? I can't force the reflection to smile. I have to smile first, then the reflection will smile. You see what I'm saying? So everything starts in your inner world. And so we dilute it, confuse it, and taint it when we get into religion. So I wanted to just talk about, I truly do see the confusion,
The
but the only
distortions.
real world is the inner world, because the 3D is not fixed. It's a plastic substance. If you change your thoughts, although it seems real, I'm really knocking on the table. That's solid. That seems real, but that's the deception. It's not. It's a mirror of what you think. Right. So if I now want a
Hello.
wood table, if I keep thinking, I got a wood table, I got a wood, I'm going to eventually get one. It has no choice. It's an exact law. It just seems real to you. So when the host was talking about, don't focus on war, don't do this, because in her timeline, the one she selected from the file cabinet of her mind in the universe, she doesn't see war. But you keep coming, but what about and we get it. We're not trying to be insensitive. Kids dying, Palestine. We're not being insensitive, but we have
Hello.
selected the timeline where that doesn't exist. Go ahead.
Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me.
I
How are you
agree.
doing?
I agree with you.
How
Hello.
are you doing?
Why are we
Hello.
expecting? Why are we about to finish her statement?
Hello.
You hear me?
Are you there now?
You hear me?
Well, you interrupted. You typically want to let the guests land and make their point, but you go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know if they can hear
Hello,
me.
hello, hello.
I don't think they can hear me. I'm gonna drop you.
Hello. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't think that they could hear because I kept trying to have a conversation. They kept saying hello, hello, hello. So it's hard to hear me. I don't know.
I think religion does this so disordered because institutions inevitably become corrupt unless they're led by like the people, and then from a democratic point of view. And these laws, they're laws, and they're so ancient, and they complicate simple truths, and we become adamant in our beliefs and become stubborn, and then close our minds to openness and new experiences, which is shutting yourself off from God as far as I'm concerned.
All right, Munchie, we really don't get into what the political world is doing. We'll let them have that part. We'll let
Wait,
them.
what politics did I talk about? I haven't slept. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But yeah, we want to focus on what it is that you want to see in the world. That same Monica was saying that out.
Is it not, is saying I want to see justice in this world a political stance? You know what I mean? But I'm not going to disrupt you. I'm being like
But Mark,
purposely.
you already go in the end, and there just is just. It's like you need the negative aspect, and the host is trying to always reel you back in and say, "Sir, I don't jump on that timeline. There already is justice. We live in justice, but your brain wants it to play out. You need the courts. You need someone at war, and they're winning the war, and somebody waving the white flag. What if you could just jump to the end in your mind instead of torturing yourself with all of this negative stuff?
How
What
do
if
you
you
tell that to the man and woman enslaved? How do you tell that to the
the
innocent
same
being
way I would
bombed?
tell you, the same way I would tell you?
And then you are a fool, as far as I'm concerned. How dare you say somebody that's starving and say it's all in your mind, brother?
If they're starving, then they need to see me eat, brother. If they're starving, they don't have consciousness of how to get food. Just because you want to be negative, you don't put that curse on earth, brother. You live in your
You do
world.
not understand where I am coming
No,
from.
you
I am
don't
saying that the
even
innocent
understand.
children in
You
Palestine
don't even
have no choice
understand.
but to starve because we
You
are
don't
not
even
helping
understand.
them.
Then how are you helping them? What are you doing?
How
How are you?
what a silly question. How am I
How are,
helping them?
how are you helping them?
Now you speak with hate.
By feeding into the fire of all of this negativity. You're not sending positive vibes. You're not doing anything. How are you helping them? Let the mirror reflect back on you.
How about
How
I
you,
move this conversation outside of politics
right,
because I am disrupting the host's
he's right.
space,
He's
and
right.
now we are causing so much yelling and
Like five
disorder.
questions and couldn't even answer them. But you want to.
I can, but I don't want you to disrupt the space of the
You
host.
also got sarcastic, and you didn't know we could meet you on that level. We don't
I
want your negative stuff.
if I'm allowed to speak, then I will. I did insult you,
Well, first of all,
and I do apologize for insulting you. I'm a very passionate person.
oh, okay. Thank you. That's very mature.
Do
Thank
you
you.
not accept that? I am in good faith.
You're not. You're talking about negativity. You're trying to bring down the room with your curses.
I apologize for that. I'm all positivity, but you misunderstand my point. You
I don't.
misunderstand where yeah, absolutely you do.
You need somebody to pet you on the back. I know those poor people. We don't do that here. We don't. We do not subscribe to that mentality.
Of
Do
the
you know
reality of the
that?
material world?
Did this person just say I'm all positivity?
Right.
Yeah, not negativity. It's Tribe Called Quest, man. It's all a cycle.
I just want to
And
pause right here, Munchie, because I think what I'm trying. Toya has already said that she
I
doesn't
will
want to
calm down.
go and talk about this particular topic and even
Yes.
politics in general. I just want you to
Yes.
respect that.
Absolutely.
And then what we're talking about here is manifestation, the Bible's mind science, and everything on this prompt. So
I would like to say I apologize for the negative energy. I do not wish to sow disorder, and it is not serious. I will calm down.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm sorry for calling you a fool. Maybe I'm just mad at myself for being a fool.
I know you are. It's okay.
Thank you. But now you say that with malice.
I wanted to meet you where you are. And
She's
now we're
able to have her feelings about what you said to her, right? So
Absolutely.
So just respect that. You've apologized. We're committing to moving on from this conversation.
Indeed.
All right. Do you have anything else to say about the prompt?
That we are God having a human experience, and we are God experiencing ourselves, and we are playing hide and seek from each other when we are in fact all God. So let us all love each other and pray and do spread positivity and do create it, because it is mind over matter. Even though the matter is very oppressive, we must have our brains and be adamant in our resolution that we know the truth. Amen. Double-minded? I have like 100 minds and 99 faces or something. Okay, peace be upon you, everybody. I love you all, and I am not a fool, but I am the biggest fool of all. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Bye. It's apparent. How about you get on here and have a discussion with me? No, I'm leaving because I'm disrupting.
We don't want to have that kind of discussion, okay?
I know,
We're trying to focus on the prompt.
I know. I'm disrupting. I haven't slept, so therefore I'm going to leave.
Yeah, go ahead and get some self-care. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm such a fool.
Bye. Bye, Munchie.
Toya, we can't hear you if you're speaking.
Okay, so I don't know what's going on.
Sometimes I feel it's just better to stay quiet while that goes on.
Very interesting stuff. Oh, man. Y'all, and I got up so quickly. Okay, Toya's having problems. She's having technical issues. Everyone's spoken, right? Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Now I can hear you.
You can. I think so. How does it? Because I think it was someone had called me. You know, sometime when.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. Well, I just came up to try to reel things back in. I didn't know if you were gone because we couldn't hear you. I'm sure you were speaking the whole time.
I wasn't saying anything.
Now we can't hear you again.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's coming in and out. It's coming in and out. Everyone, this is a good time to point out that Toya has a YouTube page. You can also watch her lives there.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I guess I think I'll just try to end the live and then.
We'll start back up again.
Oh. Mm. I don't. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I don't know what's going on. Why it's in and out. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Is it clear?
It's coming in clear for me.
Okay. Good. I don't know why it keeps going in and out. Okay. I don't know what's going on.
I think you fixed it. I don't know what you did, but it sounds fine to me.
Comment.
Oh, now it is going back in and out. I'm sorry.
Noise suppression on. How do you do noise suppression?
Oh, maybe it's a feature, it's a setting. Settings.
I don't know. Settings. Let me see. Noise suppression. No, settings. It doesn't. I don't know.
Sorry, friend.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I don't see that. Hmm.